Hey, everybody. It is Friday night. And what does Friday night mean but a live stream on the SkzDaLimit Aviation Channel? Good evening, Michael here. Welcome to the Friday night live stream. Today we are going from Seattle, where we flew into last weekend, and heading down to Phoenix, Sky Harbor. We do have Seattle and Los Angeles Center online on VATSIM, so we'll have some ATC for the ride down. This is DAL1719, 737-832. Should be a 2-hour flight down to Phoenix. We're about ready to get started with the boarding process. I've got GSX set up and just about configured on most all of the airports that I fly into, except for Detroit, because the McNamara terminal is so huge and has so many gates, it's going to take me forever to configure all of them. So it's a fairly nice day out here in Seattle. And let's go ahead and get the boarding process and everything started. So Shift F brings up our GSX window. We're going to go ahead and start with some catering service. We're already fueled up. And I think we'll go down with 180, let's see, 187, I think is what SimBrief gave me. As the catering truck drives through the airplane and does a UE. Just one of those GSX quirks. So how was everybody's week? Hope everybody's week was fun and productive at the same time. And there go the little ramp tugs heading off to go get our luggage. Be 187 souls on board, not including the 2 pilots and the 4 flight attendants. So weather in Seattle this afternoon is favoring a north departure, so we are on the Bruiser. No, that's the arrival. We are on the SUMMA 2 departure going north, and then we'll do a 180 and head south. So SUMMA 2 departure, SUMMA is the transition. And coming in on the Bruiser 1 RNAV arrival to runway 26. So bags are on the way to the aircraft, as well as the passenger bus, so we'll be starting that shortly. And passengers are boarding through the jetway. And got our pre-departure clearance. So transponder is 1610 and cruise altitude be 350. maintain 7,000 initially and flying via the SID. I'll pull up Navigraph real quick so you guys can have a look at the flight path down with the weather overlay.
Hello, sir. Hello.
So it looks like we may run into just a little bit of weather. Looks like it may be tracking east, so we will probably be clear of the weather by the time we get down. And we're well into the passenger boarding process. 50 of 187 on board. And just waiting for the baggage to arrive, and here comes the baggage. So I reset the subscriber goal and just made it till the end of September. So 275 subscribers by the end of September. We're at 248 currently. And baggage now being loaded this time. Passenger boarding process is going.
Hello, sir.
We'll be departing off of 34 right. And we do have one altitude restriction, and that is Nizug, where we have to be above 4,000 feet. At or above 4,000 feet, and then no other speed and altitude restrictions until we're on the descent. Go ahead and get our pre-start checklist going here while we're waiting on the last of the passengers. Parking brake set. Throttle is at idle. Landing gear lever checked down. Flaps up. Spoilers retracted. Fuel quantity is checked. Fuel pumps are off. Battery master switch is on. We'll go ahead and start the APU. APU generator on. Panel lights as required. We don't need any. No smoking, and fasten seatbelt signs are on. PTOT.
Hello.
PTOT probe heat off. Wing and engine anti-ice off. Hydraulic pumps on. Beacon lights on. Pre-start checklist is complete.
I'm right next to her. Thank you.
Just a few more passengers to go and we'll button up the ship.
Hi there.
Hi. Thank you.
Or so passengers more to go. And it looks like the baggage is loaded. We'll go ahead and close the baggage doors. Cargo doors are shut, checked. And we have let me update the ATIS, and we still have information Juliet. Altimeter is 3014. And we'll go ahead and close the main exit. Go ahead and undock the jetway. Yep, 3014 is the altimeter is set. And we still have information Juliet. Winds 3508 knots. 10 miles visibility, few clouds at 4,000, scattered at 250. Temperature 28, dew point 9. And we are ready for pushback. And let me bring up my ACARS so I can remember to turn that on, and that is on. Prepare for pushback and departure.
are ready for pushback. Departure checks completed. Bypass pin inserted.
And here comes our tug. Pushback checklist. Parking brake off as soon as we are asked to. Pushback checklist is complete.
Locking gear. Release parking brakes, please.
Releasing parking
Commencing
brakes.
push. All engines clear. Start at will.
And as always, we'll start engines as soon as we are taxied out or pushed back out of our spot. Go ahead and tune over to Seattle Center at this time. They're on 135.45.
Center Delta 584 short through FriYAY ready for departure.
Mode C.
Delta 584, wind 3508, runway 34 right, clear for takeoff.
Clear takeoff through FriYAY Delta 584.
Alaska 1304, did I somehow mess up your flight plan? You're flying eastbound now.
Negative, we just made a mistake in our FMC.
Roger.
Okay, and Seattle Center's instructions are to contact them with the current ATIS when we are ready to taxi. So we have Juliet, and we'll wait for the pushback process to finish. We'll go ahead and do engine start.
Runway 331 Pop Foxtrot, runway 34 taxi via Foxtrot Alpha.
And parking brakes are
Waiting
set.
your confirmation for a good engine start.
And I will do that on my own. Okay, engine start checklist. Parking brake on. Thrust levers are at idle. Engine area is check clear. Start switches are ground, ignition, both.
Southwest 22.
Fuel pumps are on. We'll start engine number 2 first,
Runway
and then
34
engine number
right, clear for
1.
takeoff.
And commencing start on engine number 1. Or excuse me, engine number 2.
Yep, that's what I meant. Runway 28 right, clear for takeoff.
And good start on engine number 2, starting engine number 1. Good start on engine
Delta
number
584
1.
radar contacts, altitude passing.
So it'll be 2.5 for 7,000.
APU
Delta
off at this
584.
time.
Delta 584, climb maintain flight level 370.
Flow 370 Delta 584.
Right. Engine startup complete. Before taxi checklist, nav lights on, taxi lights on. Elevator trim is set for takeoff. Flaps setting for 5. Heading indicator is set. Be flying on a 340 heading to Nizug. Radio and avionics are set. Autopilot off. Flight director is on. Transponder is in mode C. We'll go ahead and do our flight control check real quick. And we'll also let
cockpit to ground. We have a good engine start.
Southwest
You can disconnect.
2293 radar contact, altitude passing.
go ahead and do our flight control check at this time.
Southwest 2293, climb and maintain flight level 350. Alaska 7052 at Sonder, clear the ILS 34 right approach.
Bypass pin removed.
All right, that's Sonder. Clear for the ILS 34 right, Southwest 70, or Alaska 7052.
Wait for our ground guy to walk off, then we'll go ahead and call for taxi.
American 795, Seattle Center, cleared the Oakland Airport, Spokane 7 departure, Radar Victor, Spokane VOR, then is filed. Maintain 6,000, expect flight level 380, 5 minutes after departure. Departure with me, squawk 2242.
Alright, GTSX telling us to have a good trip. We are ready to go.
Delta 584, clear track soon.
Seattle Center, Delta 1719 at Concourse A, ready for taxi with Juliet.
American 795, read back correct, call for taxi, expect runway 21, Spokane altimeter 3005.
I think I might have walked on him.
Delta 1719, runway 34 right, taxi via Bravo.
34 right via Bravo, Delta 1719. Alright.
November 331, Papa Foxtrot, flight runway heading, runway 34, clear for takeoff. Southwest 2293, clear direct Holly. American 187, or correction, American 817, leaving my airspace to the south. Oakland center's closed. Radar surface is terminated. Frequency change approved. Delta 584, clear direct the Bravo Yankee India.
Confirm that was Bravo Yankee India for Delta 584.
Affirm.
Standby 1 for 584.
Southwest 3159, leaving my airspace to the south. Oakland center is closed. Radar services terminated. Frequency change approved.
And clear to the right. Nobody to our left.
Center Delta 584. We're going direct Bravo Yankee India.
Thank you. November 331 Papa Foxtrot, radar contact, altitude passing.
1800, November 331 Papa Foxtrot.
November 331 Papa Foxtrot, clear direct Watcom via wire, climb maintain 14,000.
Climb maintain 14,000, direct Watcom via wire, November 331 Papa Foxtrot.
Delta 1719, runway 34 right, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, runway 34 right, Delta 1719. All right, before takeoff checklist. Stand by for that.
November 331 Papa Foxtrot, leaving my airspace to the north, Vancouver approach and center are closed, radar services terminated, frequency change of route.
Frequency change of route, November 331 Papa Foxtrot.
Before takeoff checklist, parking brake set, throttles idle, flight instruments checked, engine instruments checked, nav equipment checked, takeoff data, we've got our V1, V2, VR speeds, landing lights on, taxi lights off, strobes on, PTOT heat on, de-ice as required, auto throttle is armed, before takeoff checklist is complete. And confirming we're on 34 right. And we are ready to go. N1 to 60%. Brakes off. Throttle's advancing for takeoff. We're on the roll. $80 knots check.
Alaska 7052, Seattle altimeter now 3012.
0.12, Alaska 7052.
And rotate, positive rate of climb. Gear coming up.
Delta 1719, radar contact, altitude passing.
Passing through 3,000, Delta 1719.
Delta 1719, climb maintain flight level 350.
350, Delta 1719. And the simulator has frozen. Not what we wanted.
Alaska 7052, Seattle winds 350 at 10, runway 34 right, clear to land.
Clear to land, 34 right, Alaska 7052, and we'll be landing long.
Delta 1719, radar contact lost.
Yeah. I think the simulator is going to crash. panels came back. Let's see if the simulator comes back. And we are getting the blue ring of death here. Not sure what's going on here with the simulator. This gets very frustrating. Wait and see if this comes back on or not. If not, I might just reset everything. There we go. And we are back. Yeah, Seattle Center, Delta1719's back with you. We just had a simulator freeze. We're back online now.
I got you back, Delta1719. When in the turn, clear direct SUMMA.
In the turn, clear direct SUMMA, Delta1719. And go ahead and gauge LNAV and VNAV. Flaps coming up. Not sure what caused the freeze up. This is the first time I've done a live stream out of Seattle, so hopefully that's the only glitch that we have. So climb out checklist, autopilot on, altitude set, heading to flight level 350. Airspeed is set. Heading is on. We'll turn the landing lights off at 10,000. And 250 knots below 10,000. LNAV and VNAV as required. And climb out checklist is complete. And above 10,000 feet. Got to set our climb out speed for 290.
Alaska 7052, welcome Seattle, taxi parking via Bravo.
Parking via Bravo, Alaska 7052. Thank you, sir.
Central Aircraft Seattle Center, stepping away for 2 minutes.
And go ahead and re-engage LNAV and VNAV. So I've got some new outside scenery that I installed earlier today.
Central Aircraft Seattle Center's back.
So it's called TEP. Which is Terra Emergence Project, according to the creator, and this is off of a Facebook page. And it's supposed to make the scenery that much more accurate. And it's basically download the file. It works for FSX, FSX Steam, and Prepared for all versions, and you basically copy the files in the download folder.
FedEx 400.
FedEx 400, Seattle Center.
And put them in the texture folder
Ready for pushback start.
of your flight simulator. Just make sure, as always, that you back up your files.
It's okay, I got it for taxi, thank you.
Always make sure that you back up your main folders when you start tinkering around in there.
November Charlie 2733 Seattle Center.
November Charlie 2733 Seattle Center.
November Charlie 2733 is a Beechcraft BE-36.
We're through 18,000 feet. Barometer we will set to standard 29990.
Stop at Tri-Cities Airport.
November Charlie 2733, enter the right downwind for runway 21, right.
Right downwind for 21 right for 2733.
Cruise checklist. Altimeter set to standard. Autopilot checked. Radios checked. Lights as required. Instruments and fuel quantity are checked. Cruise checklist is complete. Passing through 20,000 for flight level 350 at this time. Hello, Zion, Gavin. Thank you. And if you're my 249th subscriber, welcome to the channel. Hope you're having a good Friday. So for those of us joining, this is DAL1719. This is 737 service down to Phoenix Sky Harbor from Seattle SeaTac.
November Charlie 2733, Pasco altimeter 3004.
Copy the altimeter of 3004 for 2733.
And we have Seattle Center and Los Angeles Center online this evening for VATSIM for our ATC services. And a momentary little glitch departing out of Seattle where the simulator froze. I don't know if it's the scenery or what it was, but we just let that play out, got back online, and we're good to go.
American 795, runway 21, taxi via Tango 7 Alpha.
Runway 21, taxi Tango 7 and Alpha, American 795.
You're awesome!
And appreciate the subscription. And again, welcome aboard. So this is the regular Friday night live stream. Depending on how the weekend goes, I may do some flying on VATSIM tomorrow and possibly Sunday. We'll see how the weekend goes. Passing through 250 for 350. Reset our climb speed in the FMS. We are flying down to Phoenix Sky Harbor, which is Kilo Papa Hotel X-Ray, KPHX. To be slightly over 2 hours down.
November Charlie 2733, Pasco winds 18015, gusting 21, runway 21 right, clear to land.
Clear to land 21 right for 2733.
Shadow Control, good afternoon, Alaska 1077, flight level 360 with you.
Alaska 1077, Seattle Center, squawk right in.
Put the Navigraph back up so you guys can have a look at it. And Wifey has entered the chat. Hello, darling.
Alaska 1077 radar contact. It's called about 50 miles south of the Road Valley VOR, flight level 360.
Roger, Alaska 1077.
Ready for tax, FedEx 400.
FedEx 400, runway 28 left, taxi via Echo Charlie.
Direct left via Echo Charlie, FedEx 400.
see if I can bring my chat overlay back up.
Alaska 756, Seattle Center, radar contact position as reported book.
There, Wifey has officially entered the chat. And we're up to 350, leveling off. Pick some of our speed back up that we brought off during the ascent.
Delta, ready to copy IFR clearance to Southwest Oregon Regional Airport.
November 5520 Delta, Seattle Center. Do you have the Bowers Field departure procedure?
Roger, I have the Ellensburg departure procedure, 5520 Delta.
5520 Delta, roger. Go to the Southwest Oregon Regional Airport via the Ellensburg departure procedure, then as filed. Maintain 10,000 departure, or expect flight level 180, 5 minutes after departure. Departure with me, squawk 5133.
Depart via the Ellensburg departure procedure, then as filed. Climb to 10,000. Expect 180, 5 minutes after departure. Stay on this frequency. Squawk 5133, 5520 Delta.
November 5520 Delta, read back correct. Hold for release, contact unit number 1 for departure.
Hold for release, contact you for departure, 5520 Delta.
Center, American 795 is Spokane, lined up, oh sorry, only short 21.
American 795, fly runway heading runway 21, clear for takeoff.
Runway heading, runway 21, clear for takeoff, American 795.
Couple small adjustments in the FMS. Looks like we have a slight headwind on the way down. Winds are 155 at 31 knots here at 350. So 31 knot headwind. And settling in at Mach 0.81.
Parking for 2733.
I'm going to go ahead and turn off the fasten seatbelt sign. Let the passengers move about the cabin.
Alaska 1077, descend via the Timbers to arrival. Portland's landing west. Portland altimeter 3008.
Descend via Timbers to arrival altimeter 3008, Alaska 1077.
checking the localizer frequency 111.75. We'll set that up a little bit later on. Whenever I'm doing the flight planning, I always make sure that the ILS localizer frequencies in Flight Sim Commander match up with what's in Navigraph, because sometimes FSX is not
FedEx 400 very short.
super accurate with the frequencies.
FedEx 400, runway 28 left, clear for takeoff.
And I've learned that a couple of times flying into airports where I thought I had the localizer dialed in, and it turned out that I had
Passing 4,500, American 795.
a different localizer.
795, climb maintain flight level 380.
Climb flight 380, American 795.
I do have Airport Design Editor, or ADE, but unfortunately,
Kimberly, VOR, India, Mike, Bravo.
I do not have the BGL compiler to go in and make changes. So in a couple of those airports where the localizer frequency was not correct, according, comparing Navigraph to Flight Sim Commander, I can't go in and edit and put the correct frequency in, so I have to find a way to get the BGL compiler, and once I do that, I can make minor changes to airports and stuff like that. So
Delta 584, leaving my airspace to the east. Salt Lake Center is closed. Radar services terminated. Frequency change approved.
Frequency change approved. Delta 584. Good day.
pull up VATSIM real quick. And here's our ATC situation for tonight. As you can see, Seattle Center is online. And Los Angeles Center is online. And a pretty good amount of traffic traveling through Albuquerque Center. So maybe as things progress through the evening, maybe they will come online. And it would be also nice if Oakland came online as well, which is right here in this area.
8801 IFR to Calgary.
Two aircraft at once. Someone IFR to Calgary.
Yeah, that's Boeing 6 for IFR to Calgary.
No.
Someone said no.
Yeah, it's because I called first and then he was
FedEx 400 at about now across 1,500. So.
FedEx 400, radar contact, climb maintain flight level 370.
Climb flight level 370, FedEx 400.
Was the call sign Dauntless 8801?
Yeah, that was Dauntless 8801.
Dauntless 8801, you're cleared to the Calgary Airport. Cabane 1 departure. Radar vectors ALPC, then as filed. Climb via the SID. Departure with me, squawk 1530.
Dauntless 8801's cleared to Calgary, Cabane, departure.
Once again, if you're joining the live stream tonight, this is Delta1719.
Close enough, Dauntless 8801.
Service from Seattle to Phoenix.
32 left, so call for taxi, Dauntless 8801.
And we are flying the Delta 737-800 this evening.
Should be there now for Boeing 6.
And we flew out on the SUMMA 2 departure.
Seattle Center cleared the Calgary Airport. Cabane 1 departure. Radar vectors ALPS, then as filed. Climb via the SID. Departure with me, squawk 3545.
Airfield to Calgary up the Queen 1 and vectors to Alps. We'll be squawking 3565.
Yeah, probably about another 10 to 15 more minutes with Seattle Center, then we'll exit out.
3545.
Looks like into Salt Lake Center, who's not online right now.
Off taxi, expect runway 32 left for departure.
And we'll just continue south. We'll cut into LA Center on our way down.
756, descend via the Timbers to arrival, Portland's landing west, Portland altimeter 3008.
About another 100 nautical miles, and then we'll be out of Seattle's airspace. There's literally no air traffic in Salt Lake's airspace right now, other than Delta 554, which left Seattle right before us, and a WestJet that's heading down to Vegas, about to go into Los Angeles Center's airspace. So I hope everybody has been having a good day and a really good week. Down here in Atlanta, it's been the usual hot, muggy, icky, sticky, rain in the late afternoon weather. Although we did have a couple of days that were in the mid to upper 80s, which is a lot better than the mid to high 90s that we had the last couple of weeks. So we're grateful for some slightly cooler weather. We are 2 weeks away from our annual family vacation. We'll be heading down south to the Gulf Coast of Florida for a week. Hang out with family, play with our nieces and nephews. Looking forward to getting away from it all for a week. So do not expect a live stream from the 19th to the 26th, unless I do one the Friday night before we leave. That is a possibility, but we'll see how things go.
citation 5520 Delta, ready for departure.
Citation 5520 Delta, release for departure. Time now 23460. Clearance void if not off in 10 minutes. If not off in 10 minutes, call me my frequency no later than 15 minutes of intentions. Frequency change approved.
If not off in 10 minutes, contact you. Good. Change to advisory, frequency approved, 5520 Delta.
Looks like a nice smooth ride up here at 350 today.
Alaska 1304, leaving my airspace to the south. Oakland Center is closed. Radar services terminated. Frequency change approved.
Over to Unicom 122.8, Alaska 1304. Thank you for the service today.
Southwest 2292 south. Southwest 2293. What's the next waypoint you're tracked right now? Alright. That's fine. Southwest 2293, leaving my airspace to the south. Oakland Center's closed. Radar services terminated. Frequency change approved.
like the winds are pushing us around just a little bit. We're going to pop the seatbelt sign back on at this time.
Seattle Center, citation 5520 Delta at 10,000.
Citation 5520 Delta, Seattle Center ident.
Winds don't appear to be that bad. It's a straight headwind. 16 knots coming from 142, but apparently enough to bounce us around just a tiny little bit.
Citation 5520 Delta radar contact 3 miles north of Ellensburg, VOR. Climb maintain flight level 180.
Climb maintain flight level 180, citation 5520 Delta.
Yeah, as soon as we get passed off to Unicom, I'm going to step off the flight deck for a quick moment, reload my water, and then I will be right back.
Seattle Center, Boeing 6, ready to go, taxi 32 left.
Boeing 6, Seattle Center, runway 32 left, taxi via Bravo.
Bravo 32 left, Boeing 6.
Alaska 1077, ATIS, Zulu's current, clear for visual approach, runway 28 left.
Currently it is Zulu, Alaska 1077, visual approach runway 28 left.
Delta 1719, leave airspace to the southeast. Salt Lake Center is closed. Radar services terminated. Frequency change approved.
Over to Unicom. Appreciate the services tonight. Delta 1719. See ya.
See ya.
And over to Unicom. And with that, I'm going to step off the flight deck for a couple of moments, and I will be back in just a second. And we are back on the flight deck. For those of you joining us, welcome to the Friday night live stream on the SkzDaLimit Aviation Channel. My name is Michael. This is DAL1719, service from Seattle SeaTac down to Phoenix Sky Harbor Airport. And we're flying a Boeing 737-800. And we're currently at flight level 350. Looks like we're clear of most of the weather that was over in the Seattle area on the climb out. We passed well south of that. Might hit just a tiny little bit of weather in the next 100 nautical miles or so. We'll see. Or the weather will have blown through by that point. So let me know in the comments or in the live chat, let me know how your weekend is panning out, how your weather's been. I know it's been really hot in a lot of places around the US. We're finally settling into some more seasonable temperatures than the stuff that we've been dealing with the last couple weeks, where it's been in the really high 90s. Heat indexes have been well into 100 degrees or better. And we finally dipped down into the mid to upper 80s, and some much needed rain to cool things off. As well, so We probably have about another half hour or so, and then we'll pass back into some air traffic control. LA Center is online. We just left Seattle Center over to Unicom, and Salt Lake Center does not have much traffic in it at all, only 4 aircraft including us. And it looks like only 2 aircraft heading into Phoenix. One of those is us. Trying to see who the other is. Looks like our other aircraft flying into Phoenix is departing from Monterey, but he's not departed yet. He's in a CRJ 700. Do I have a... Oh, I do have a... I do have a virtual cockpit. I forgot about that. Not quite halfway through our flight tonight. Again, Delta1719 service from Seattle to Phoenix. Boeing 737-832 for Delta Airlines. Currently at 350 and 0.81 Mach. Livestream got off to a bit of a shaky start on the departure out of Seattle when the simulator froze for nearly 5 minutes. Not sure if it was the scenery that caused it or not, but it sorted itself out and we're doing quite well now. Hoping to have a little bit more ATC on tonight, but we did have Seattle Center for the ride out, and we'll go through through LA Center's airspace. For a small portion of the arrival into Phoenix this afternoon. Got 187 passengers and 6 crew. 2 pilots, 4 flight attendants. For a total of 193 souls on board. Yep, 193 souls on board total. looks like we're skimming the tops of some of these upper level clouds up here at 350. For anybody just joining the live stream, welcome. My name is Michael. This is the SkzDaLimit Aviation Channel. This is DAL1719. Service from Seattle to Phoenix Sky Harbor. Running a 737-832. Humming along at Mach 0.81 at flight level 350. Glad to have you with us tonight. So we currently have no ATC. Salt Lake Center is not online this evening. We did have Seattle Center for the departure and climb out, and we'll be in LA Center's airspace probably in the next 130 nautical miles or so. So our headwind has turned into a crosswind of 43 knots. Crossing over from the right to left from a 234 heading. Other than pushing the nose to the right, we haven't had too much turbulence up here. I think we're going to turn the seatbelt sign back off for our passengers. Check our weather in Phoenix. Winds calm. Altimeter 2974. 45 degrees Celsius. 2 degrees Celsius dew point. Few clouds at 23,000 feet. and visibility greater than 15 excuse me, visibility greater than 15 kilometers. Forecast for a little later calls for winds 280 at 7 knots. So I'll still be west opposite Phoenix, so we'll still come in on runway 26 ultimately. And that weather update is as of about 45 minutes ago, so we'll check again once we get a little bit closer into the Phoenix area. About 100 nautical miles, we'll be back into LA Center's airspace. definitely cannot wait for the weather to really start cooling off so I can get back out and do some plane spotting videos and get some photography under my belt. It has just been way too hot. To be in this crazy, crazy heat for any significant length of time. Even in the mornings when I get up, it's already in the mid to upper 80s, and it just stays that way throughout the whole day. And I'm not a very heat tolerant person anymore, if I ever was to begin with. I definitely like the colder weather, although I'm getting to a point now in my life where I even have my tolerances for cold. And a little less than 80 nautical miles will be in LA Center's airspace for a short little bit of time. Be transitioning kind of off to the east, far eastern end of his airspace, going into Phoenix. Still have a 58 knot crosswind. I am going to jump back off of the flight deck for another quick moment, and I will be right back in a couple minutes. All right, we are back on the flight deck. Checking on my wonderful wife downstairs, make sure she's okay. Bounce over to LA Center. And 3555. Los Angeles Center, good evening. Delta 1719 with you. Flight level 350.
Delta 1719, LA Center. Hello, squawk 7370. Good evening.
7370, Delta 1719. And ident.
Delta 1719, LA Center. Good evening, sir. Your radar contact. Whenever you're ready, descend and maintain flight level 290. That's at your discretion.
Okay. Pilot's discretion to 290 for Delta 1719. Good evening. That weird little occasional glitch in the FMC where the flight level changes, even though the LNAV and VNAV still
United
follow.
440. Just verify you are descending, is that correct?
Affirmative, United 440.
No problem. In the future, if you do need to descend at your top of descent and I have not given you the instruction, please inform us. Just don't descend on your own. So it's not a problem now. Descend via the Angel 4 arrival, the Ontario altimeter 2985.
United 440, you gave me an instructions to descend when ready 15 minutes ago.
Don't recall that, and it's not listed on my... When we give a descent instruction, usually there's an annotation. If I did, that's a misunderstanding. But also, regardless, when you are descending out of the flight levels in America and you are given that instruction, you must say that you are leaving your current flight level for the descent, just in the future.
United 448, roger that. Just flying in Europe all the time, not so often in the United States, so thank you for information.
No problem. I mean, Europe does it right a lot of the times, so I appreciate European ATC too.
I have definitely not flown VATSIM in Europe yet, so have yet to experience that. Go ahead and check our weather again.
Southwest 139 on the ground at Vegas, clearance to Burbank.
Southwest 139, clearance across standby.
Roger.
No change in the Phoenix weather. Still 2974, winds are
Air Shuttle
calm.
5828, pilot's discretion, maintain flight level 290.
We'll descend via pilot's discretion to flight level 290, Air Shuttle 5828.
And we might as well go ahead and start down.
Las Vegas Center, good evening, November 44 Zulu Foxtrot, 5 miles to Adam with flight level 130.
44 Zulu Foxtrot, Los Angeles Center, roger. Climb and maintain flight level 450.
Climb and maintain flight level 450, November 44 Zulu Foxtrot.
And going down on the Bruiser 1 RNAV arrival, and it's going to be runway 26 in Phoenix. And I double checked the ILS localizer frequency, and it is 111.75.
The gentleman that's at Vegas, I think it was Southwest 139, if that was you, contact Vegas approach on 135.0 and make sure you file a flight plan because I don't have one on you.
Over to Vegas
approach,
and I'll refile Southwest 139, thank you.
So, top of descent checklist. ATIS airport weather information is checked. Altimeter is 2947 once we get down below, or 2974 once we get below 180. Radios and nav checked. Have our ILS frequency already set.
Air Shuttle 5828, contact LA Center on 127.35, 2735.
2735, Air Shuttle 5828.
Fuel quantity is checked.
Contact
Any
LA Center
IS
on 127.35.
checked, and descent speed as required.
135,
Top of descent checklist is complete.
Bye-bye, sir. Have a great day. Delta 1719, contact LA Center 127.35. Good day.
2735. We'll see you, Tom. See you.
See you, friend.
Tom's a great guy. 2735.
Gulfstream 4 Zulu Foxtrot, contact Los Angeles Center 127.3.
Yeah, 440 LA Center.
Los Angeles Center, Delta 1719, passing through flight level 300 for 290, pilot's discretion.
Delta 1719 LA Center Club. United 440, contact SoCal approach 128.05.
So Tom is a really good
United 440.
controller. Whenever I get out west and he's online, it's always a pleasure to have him. He's the consummate professional.
Air Shuttle 5828, Albuquerque Center's offline, radar service terminated, exchange approved.
Frequency change approved, airfield 28, or 5828.
And we can push a little bit more speed out of this old girl while we're here. We have one aircraft departing out of Phoenix and 3 arriving. Got ourselves. Ash 5828, which is CRJ 700. And actually, we have 2 flights.
And on board 13, just curious, are we picking up clearance out of LAX from you?
Runway 13, LA Center, contact SoCal approach 128.05.
Thank you.
And 2 American flights out of Spokane heading down to Phoenix. They haven't departed yet. They're still on the ground. But back to Tom, the LAX controller that we just had. He's a great guy. Consider him a friend. Always fun to talk to when I get into his airspace out here in LA, or any other position that he happens to be on. Back over to Unicom, Delta 1719. See ya. So back over to Unicom 12280. So we're on our own unless Albuquerque comes online. So we'll be here at 290 for another 60 nautical miles, and then we will start down. On our initial descent into the Phoenix area. We'll check the weather once again in just a little while. But 2947 and winds calm, a scorching 45 degrees Celsius, dew point of 2. So very low humidity, but very, very hot. So for you non-metric people, that is 113 degrees currently in Phoenix. But it's a dry heat. Altimeter 2974 and few clouds at 23,000 feet and winds are calm. So there's our current position on Navigraph. Okay, and the weather at Phoenix just updated. Winds are 330 at 7, which will still be runway 26. Altimeter is now 2973. Temperature's starting to drop a little bit. It's only 44 Celsius, 112 degrees Fahrenheit. Dew point still 2. Few clouds at 230. And no significant changes expected later in the evening, except winds will remain coming from the west. So we'll be landing to the west in Phoenix, runway 26. Hey, Frank. Welcome back. Glad you could join us for the descent. Yep. Top of descent at about another 20 nautical miles or so. Maybe a little less than that. And we do have traffic on the TCAS, and that's that CRJ-700 that left LA, or where'd he leave from? From Monterey, heading into Phoenix as well. So we've got him on the scope. And new projected top of descent is 20 nautical. No air traffic in Phoenix tonight. Albuquerque Center's been offline. Had Los Angeles Center for a short little bit as I passed down through the far eastern edge of their airspace, and Seattle Center on the way out. Salt Lake or Oakland never came online, so we'll be on our own and making the calls on Unicom. Go ahead and do our approach checklist. Seatbelt signs are coming back on. Smoking signs are on. Go ahead and start the APU. Avionics and radios are set. Speeds will be our discretion. Landing lights on below 10,000. Auto spoilers are armed. Flaps as needed on the approach, and approach checklist is complete. And again, we got our weather update for Phoenix. 2973 on the altimeter, few clouds at 23,000 feet, and winds are 330 at 7, so still going to be a runway 26 arrival. Got the localizer set. We do have some altitude and speed restrictions on the way down. Bruiser is 280 at 130. Ante is 280 at 11,000. Z-Lub is 250 knots at 9. Breeze is 230 knots at 8. And Cuckoo is 210 at 7,000. We'll stay at 7,000 for about 30 nautical miles, and then C-Run is 6,000. Zemos will drop down to 180 and 5, and then we'll be making the turn to catch the localizer for 26. For our arrival, we've got everything already plugged into the FMS. And we're starting down out of 29 for 19. I made a few changes this week to the aircraft config files on a lot of the aircraft to try to get my pilot seat window perspective correct, and also to add what's called parasitic drag. So basically, parasitic drag by default is set for 0, which means that on a descent, if you watched last week's video into Seattle in the A220, because the parasitic drag is set to 0, every time I would descend, the aircraft would accelerate forward as if there was no drag, keeping it at its set speed or lower. So I had to tinker around and found that a lot of other flight sim pilots who have made those adjustments in their config files, usually about 1.35 is a good setting on parasitic drag, so you're not accelerating out of control on the descent. And when you're told to maintain a certain airspeed by air traffic control, when you dial that airspeed down, that the plane responds fairly quickly in slowing down to that airspeed. So just one of the things that I've been tinkering with. And also been setting up all my gates on GSX. To make sure I have operating gates and ground equipment and whatnot. And I'm going to wind up overshooting this CRJ because he's slowed down to literally 250 knots. So I'm going to do the same. So I do not want to overtake him. And he's still 6,000 feet below me. So let's go ahead and keep VNAV off for now. And out of 19 for 13,000. And we'll go ahead and set our altimeter. That was 2973. 2973 check. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a one circuit holding pattern because he's going way too slow for my comfort. I'm going to go left traffic to 69. Turn off the LNAV. If I don't do this, I'm going to wind up hitting him. That is the one thing I like about having air traffic control is they will keep you separated at a decent speed. And another left turn to 337. Oh, now he accelerates up to 365 knots because he sees that we're going to wind up hitting each other. Yay! Better late than never. And left to 244. Like I said, the one thing I do love about VATSIM when they are online is this would not have happened. Air traffic control would have kept the two of us separated. I have no idea why he slowed down so much. On that approach. And we'll go ahead and swing back around, and I'll just re-engage the LNAV again here shortly. And we'll go ahead and re-engage the LNAV. 13,000 for 11. We got the traffic departing out of Phoenix for San Fran, Southwest 5027. And our CRJ's on the downwind. Hauling at 337 knots. Now we'll go ahead and turn the VDAV back on. And out of 11 for 9,000. Landing lights on. Right, flaps 1. Flaps 5. Oh, that's a United Express. Okay. Oh, that's weird. Buildings are floating in the air. Out of 8 for 7. And we'll stay here at 7,000 for a short bit of time. Got the airport off to our right. Sky Harbor traffic, Delta1719 is in the left downwind for runway 26 Sky Harbor traffic.
Phoenix traffic, air shuttle 5828, clear runway 26, taxiing to American Wings.
Okay, now he starts talking. Turn off the LNAV and the VNAV. Yeah, I think I got the right setting for parasitic drag because my speed is set for 210. We're maintaining about 216. So my parasitic drag setting is good. And down to 180 knots. Turning for C run. Out of 6 for 5. Gear coming down, flaps 10. Got 3 green. Double check the localizer, 111.75. And we have 111.75 in the box. Yeah, got the airport off our nose at 1 o'clock. Maintain 5,000 to Tadre, Tadre. We have a 15-mile final for Phoenix. Descend down to 4. Landing checklist. Landing gear down. Flaps at our discretion. Landing speed is established. Autopilot, auto throttle as required. Landing checklist is complete. And no localizer as of yet. down to 3. Still no localizer. Sky Harbor traffic, Delta 1719, 10-mile final, runway 26, Sky Harbor traffic. Sky Harbor traffic, Delta 1719, short final, runway 26, Sky Harbor traffic.
Sink rate. Sink rate.
And this guy out ahead of us is gonna land. Opposite of us, because he's not paying any attention. And we're going to go ahead and clear the runway right here. Sky Harbor traffic, Delta 1719 is clear of the active taxiing to the gate. Sky Harbor traffic. Landing lights off, taxi lights on, strobes off, flaps coming up. Welcome to Phoenix Sky Harbor. And I guess he's going to park at the Delta gates as well while he's at it. And parking brake set. Shutdown checklist. Parking brake set, throttle idle, engines to cut off. Taxi lights off, nav lights off, beacons remain on, PTOT heat, de-ice off, flight director is off. Go ahead and call for the jetway. Open up the cabin door. And open up the cargo bay doors. And we'll shut the APU off as soon as we have ground power. And ground power is active. Go ahead and shut off the APU. Logo light off. Hydraulic switches off. Shutdown checklist is complete. Offloading 187 passengers. And go ahead and file my ACARs for my airline. And PIREP. And we're done. Our next flight is going to be Phoenix to Salt Lake in the A321. So we may be doing that tomorrow or Sunday, depending on how the weekend goes. And we got passengers deboarding at this time, and with that, that is going to do it for tonight's live stream video. Again, hope you enjoyed it. Had a nice flight out of Seattle despite the glitch right after takeoff that froze the simulator. Good flight down, approach, and landing in Phoenix, except for the One World American Airlines flight who decided to land east instead of west. So if you enjoyed the video, please smash that like button. Give me a comment and support the channel by subscribing. We're at 249 subscribers. Our goal for the end of September is 275 or more. And from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate every one of my supporters. So with that, we're going to go ahead and end the live stream. This is Michael with the SkzDaLimit Aviation Channel, wishing you a wonderful rest of your Friday evening. We might see you tomorrow for another live stream up to Salt Lake. And if I don't see you, then have a wonderful weekend. And we will see you on the next flight. Y'all take care. Bye-bye now.